Official indication we've got of where the cars and drivers lie pace-wise. We've seen free practice already earlier on today for those watching on the RX Plus service, but that doesn't really give you any indication as where the outright pace is. Now it's all about one lap. We'll use the Joker lap in this SuperPole session, and this is about determining the grids for Heat 1 later on this morning.
We obviously saw the cars go out for warm-up early this morning. Some awesome pace shown by the Lancia Delta here, and Anton in the all-in-cool car, looking like he's getting the most of that car already this morning.
Yeah, so for those that don't know, there's Anton Markland and Golan Shisharit new for this weekend, and they've got so much learning to do. It's going to be fascinating to see how they get on both in SuperPole and for the rest of the weekend.
Of course, Johan Kristoffersson, he may have wrapped up the championship last time out in Barcelona. We'll take a look at what happened there in a second. But the fight for second and third place in the championship, those last places at the esteemed FIA Gala, is very much on the play here this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely massive. The ultimate thing is you don't want to be fourth or fifth come the end of the year.
And we're just going to have a look at what happened last time in Barcelona.
Rallycross Championship title. What a weekend it was for him. It wasn't without its issues though. Had a big fight on the opening day. Fantastic action from the Barcelona circuit as ever. This was one of the controversial moments of the weekend when Johan Kristoffersson and Timmy Hansen came together on the opening day. Was it a penalty? I'm still not sure. I've seen it not hundreds, but at least tens of times now. And then come the final, there was this moment where Johan Kristoffersson and Kevin Hansen came together on the inside of the grid. Both of them lost a significant amount of time, and that allowed Timmy Hansen to take his first win of the year. The Peugeot Hansen team, or the Hansen team running the Peugeot 208s, has worked really hard to try and get to the front of the order. That was Kevin Hansen having another spin. He desperately wants to get his season back on track this weekend, carry that momentum into the winter, because it's been so difficult for him, but not for that man, Johan Kristoffersson. Another title, the star performer in Barcelona.
5 championships, and Johan is looking as passionate as ever, as determined as ever. He is a rare specimen in the sport, isn't he, Hal?
He is a rare specimen indeed, you're right, Luke. But of course he wants to win this weekend. Every driver wants to win every time they go on track. But critically, he also wants to help his teammates do as well as they can. But in SuperPole coming up right now, he's unbeaten so far this year. Took a massive second out of the rest of the pack. Timmy Hansen was second, 9.98 tenths, I think it was, off the back of Johan, and it'll be interesting to see what he can do in a few minutes' time.
You've driven in the past, how it must be extremely disheartening to see someone like Johan always just constantly being those tenths ahead of you.
Yeah, it must be, but I think the other teams and drivers know where they can find time, and Johan has said this car is better, arguably, in some places than any car he's ever driven. And, you know, I always say this, but for me, Johan's one of the best drivers on the planet, not just in rallycross. I think if you put him in rallying, circuit racing, whatever, he is right up there. And we're seeing, while his success may be a little boring at times, you know, we're seeing one of the best in the world operate at their maximum, and for that we should cherish the moment.
I always say, as motorsport fans, we are really witnessing greatness here, and like you said, we should cherish this. Hal, I believe you have to run back to the commentary box, so we will see you there. And Nick, I believe you're up there, and throwing over to you, mate.
Are ready to go with the SuperPole session of this morning here. Now let's have a quick look at the championship standings that the guys were referring to. With only 20 points up for grabs in the single race here at the Nürburgring, Kristoffersson 39 points ahead of Timmy Hansen. But look how close they are in second, third, fourth and fifth position. And those are the drivers. Hansen, Timmy Hansen, of course, Gronholm, his younger brother Kevin Hansen, Ole Christian Veiby, and an outside chance even for Gustav Bergström to try and claim a spot on the podium for our 2022 season. Kristoffersson can coast, I hear many of you say. That's not going to be the tactic of the KMS driver. He will do everything that he can to record his 35th win. Barcelona was the 34th of his career. Can he make it 35? Or will he help his teammate, Ole Christian Veiby, take second position or third position in the season standings? So, as you all know, the SuperPole determines the lineup for the heat positions. The fastest man gets the first pick, and so on and so forth. So the first man to start the SuperPole with that brand new Lancia Delta all-electric, Golan Shisharit.
working on that track. Last year was kind of a really hot condition, was snowing, so really excited to be back here, with, especially with the new cars.
So both Guerlain and the GCK team all absolutely delighted to have finally got this Lancia Delta Evo ERX car ready to rumble. It is very fast indeed. It looks brilliant. Of course, it's based on the old Lancia Delta HF Integrale that won the World Rally Championship, Constructions Championship 6 times, the Drivers' Championship 4 times. It's been a pet project for Guerlain for some time now, and we are all starting to enjoy the results. Now, from what was a dream a few years ago is now becoming reality for the French driver. He's a world champion free skier. He's also a very accomplished driver. He's already told us he'll be off to the Dakar early next year with a brand new hydrogen vehicle concept. But this is all about the brand new all-electric Lancia Delta. And there's the green light for go. It's all about the clock. Oh, and there's troubles for the Frenchman.
I wonder if he's just not understanding. He could have stopped there because you're allowed one false start now. So this is invariably going to put Guerlain at the bottom of the times of those who complete a time. Not the end of the world because they've got a whole weekend of racing to come, but not the start they would have wanted. I wonder if he just didn't have the settings right for the launch, or if he wasn't totally au fait with how SuperPole works. He's really hustling the Delta through the Joker lap section. Absolutely sends it through what is known as turn 8A around the outside. The A is always used to demark the Joker, and these SuperPole laps include both the start and the Joker lap to give a broad view of a Rallycross lap. A time of 52.066 will definitely be beaten by other cars in this session. Guerlain could have opted to start that again after a jump start, at least, or maybe because he didn't jump the start, maybe you're not allowed to go again. But regardless, it won't be the quickest time we see in this session, but it ultimately doesn't really matter either.
There's a huge amount for Guerlain and his team to learn this weekend. But this is a bit of a shame that it went wrong at the start. The clock had already put 5 seconds down before he got the Lancia going. But when he gets it going, it's impressive to watch.
Yeah, he's hustling it hard, isn't he? It's that bit lower than some of the other cars. I wonder if they'll go up on the ride height over the course of the weekend. Quite a smooth circuit, so there's not lots of undulation. The abrasive gravel here ripping the wrap off the side of Guerlain's new toy. Look at the car skipping around. 20 more millimetres of damper travel for all of the cars this year allowed in the regulations. Just hopping over those curbs where we saw a lot of drama last season. But the track looks so different, doesn't it, to 12 months ago here in Germany. And I think that run overall, so let's take 5 seconds off that time and will give us a reasonable idea where he would have been.
Next up in this SuperPole is the Swedish driver Anton Marklund.
Really excited to be here at Nürburgring. I really like the Joker lap where we can go full send. I have a brand new car, the all-Inkel RX1E car, but I hope that I will learn fast.
Well, for those of you that have followed Anton Marklund, he's won 3 times on the European RX1 series. The last win in the last round of the season in Belgium, securing his 3rd European Championship title. The target time should easily be bettered. And for those of you who are feeling a little confused, this is the car that René Munich has been racing all season, stepping aside to let Anton Marklund, the newly crowned Euro RX1 champion, make his debut in our all-new electric era. He said it himself in interviews and in that little pre-race clip. He needs to learn and learn fast, but a lot of people really do believe that Anton Marklund could make a lasting impression in his first all-electric race. Remember, watch the red lights, then it's green for go. All against the clock, 1 lap, including the Joker.
Much better start for Anton Markland than that of Gurlan Shishri. We're hearing it was an electrical problem where he had to go for a recycle of the car. Of course, the car was working well. Clearly, after that, Anton Markland sets the setup for upsiders. Oh, and he drops it into turn 2. That will make his lap null and void, I would think. Wonder what the stewards will say about the cutting of the course, but he lost time there, didn't he? Just got that bit over-rotating. That's what we're talking about. These cars are so hard to set up for the drivers because the front and rear axles are driven independently. He's a lot quicker than Gurlan Shishri was, so this will put him ahead, barring disaster, in the last couple of corners. Wonder if anything will happen by that turn 2 instant there.
Now the clock goes red. Look, watch carefully to the right of your screens. Green tells us that he's up on the driver that leads. Red tells us he's got speed and pace to find. 43.797, just about gets ahead. We'll see what the judges say about Markland coming off the track and making a small diversion. We'll leave that to the stewards. But here's the replay. A good launch, good speed going into this very difficult first turn, but then he runs into a little bit of trouble, Hal.
Yeah, just a bit of over-rotation. See the rear come around, maybe a little bit long on the handbrake. You can drive these axles independently, so you can make the car handle like a front-wheel drive car or a rear-wheel drive car at any one time. And yeah, as we've already discussed a lot this weekend with the team, and for those that haven't seen anything of the action so far this weekend, there's a lot of learning for this squad to do because they've only had one car at every event so far this year, so they aren't able to compare the data with a teammate. Anton will learn a lot this weekend, and a driver of his calibre can also bring a lot to the team as well.
Well, Anton Markland goes to the top of the table, 43.797 is the target time. Next up is the Swedish female driver, Klara Andersson.
Excited to be back here in Germany. Amazing venue, exciting first corner, and I can't wait to go out for the last race of the season.
Now, whilst Klara Andersson has been learning many of the tracks this season in her rookie year in the RX1E series, Klara has raced here at the Nürburgring before in an RX2E car. So she's not completely blind to the undulations and difficulty of this racetrack. There is no question Klara Andersson has had a brilliant season. She kick-started it in the opener with a 4th position in the final, right back in at the top of the Tour in Norway in August, and she was also 4th in the last stop on the Tour in Barcelona. Add a podium to those 3 top 4 final performances, and Klara Andersson has established herself as a brilliant driver in this brand new all-electric era. Now for the Swedish lady, the target time, 43.797 seconds.
Opting to launch from the outside of the grid to give the optimum line into the opening corner. You're right, Nick, Klara did race here last year, but the conditions were so different, it'll be very hard to make them relatable. Oh, she gets a lot of rotation done in turn 2 as well, but gets it nicely tidied up ahead of the curb on the inside. Some 3 tenths quicker than the best time so far, but of course, Gurlan Shishri was left on the line, and Anton Markland made that mistake in turn 2. Klara sends the PWR RX1E machine into the long Joker lap section. Her best position in SuperPole this year has been 5th in the first race in Belgium. She's going to go quickest of the drivers so far now on a 38.834.
That is a wonderful performance and will do nothing but boost Klara's confidence going into the heats later this morning. Klara comfortably ahead by 4.963 seconds of Anton Markland and Gurlan Shishri. And you can see a little smile on the face there from Klara Andersson. Brimming with confidence after that 4th position in Barcelona back on the 13th of November. Hal, talk us through the slow-mo here.
She was very good through turn 2, wasn't she? Look at her mouth working away there. I love the face expressions that drivers make when they're concentrating hard. I've been chastised for making all sorts of weird facial expressions in whilst also driving, but it shows the concentration levels needed. A great final sector, actually. She took 4 tenths out of Markland in that final part of the lap, which is very, very short. The final sector is only 6.5 seconds. So, yeah, a good run from Clara. I think she'll be reasonably pleased with that and continue her learning this weekend.
Clara Anderson goes to the top of the table. Next up in the Volkswagen RX 1E is Gustav Bergström.
It's so cool to be here at the Nürburgring because of the history of the track and all the fans.
Well, Bergström's had podiums, 3 of them back-to-back, 2 of them in Belgium, 1 in Catalonia just a couple of weeks ago, and he backed that up with a 7th in the double-header in Spain. Bergström's confidence grows from strength to strength. We know that he's been guided and mentored by Johan Kristoffersson, and again, Bergström has a long shot of maybe taking the place on the podium for this season's standings. But please don't forget, just 19 years of age and a rookie to the series. No matter what the outcome of this last weekend of the season for Gustav Bergström, his tour has been crackerjack.
Regular viewers will know that Bergström has been very good off the start so far this year, but I think he's got a problem here, hasn't he? The car doesn't look like it's performing at its best, and no, it isn't. He's the reaction was fine, and it looked like it left the grid slot okay, but then something clearly not right. The green light on the right-hand side showing that the car is fine from an electronic safety point of view, but Bergström's pulling off, aborted the lap, not very pleased. That will drop him to the bottom of the order.
Well, this is something that we've seen so often with his teammate, Ole Christian Veiby. It's a mechanical issue. Can you hear something there, Hal?
Well, it's like he's not getting... It's like it's in some sort of safe mode where he's in the throttle and then it's cutting the power after a period. Now, you're allowed 1 false start in SuperPole, but I don't think he'll be allowed another unknown. He's heading back the wrong way, back up the Grand Prix track here, back to the paddock. A shame for Bergström. That will, of course, affect his grid position for Heat 1 later on.
Well, that is a disappointment for Bergström. Clara Anderson is still at the top of the table. You can see the target time on the left of your screens. We move on to the Norwegian star, Ole Christian Veiby.
So we are at Nürburgring. Looks like a really cool track. Never been here before. But it's going to be a really cool fight in the championship this weekend for the podium.
Five podiums from 9 races for Ole Christian Veiby, who came back from World Rally Championship to Rallycross. He'd been away for almost 7 years. We were so happy to have Veiby back on track, and he literally picked it up where he'd left off all those years ago by taking a podium in the very first race of the season in Norway on the 14th of August. He's been knocking on the door for a win on tour throughout the season, twice placed in 2nd position, and both those seconds have been behind his great friend and teammate Johan Kristoffersson, our champion for the season. Will Kristoffersson give Veiby a little bit of a helping hand here today to take his first win of the season and take 2nd or 3rd position in the championship standings? That quest begins right here, right now, with his SuperPole.
No such problems so far for Veiby away from the line, unlike stablemate Gustav Bergström, who went just before. Veiby has been 2nd twice in the SuperPole sessions so far this season, but twice in the last 4 races. He's also run into issues, which means he's been at the bottom of the order, and that's really affected his weekend. You need a good run here if you want to fight at the front, because it affects your grid position for Heat 1, and the knock-on of that means that your grid position is potentially compromised for the whole weekend. Just a 10th up on Clara Anderson through the first sector shows what a great job Clara did there. Another couple of attempts quicker in the middle sector. Now this very short final sector, driving to the line. Very close in the last sector time with Clara Anderson, but Veiby goes top, 38.253.
Just over half a second the right side of the clock for Ole Christian Veiby into top position with 4 drivers still to go. Veiby Many of us thought maybe a little bit quicker than that, but as Hal Ridges very acutely pointed out, Clara Anderson has found some good speed in particularly the first half of her SuperPole lap. Let's take a look at the slow-mo here. Hal, as we said, not as quick as we thought he would be in the first half of the challenge, but really found some pace in the second.
He loves throwing the car around, doesn't he? That's his rally style. That's a big curve, that hop through the middle of turn 2. We've seen a lot of the cars get upset by that moment. Now we're riding on board. There's the curve I'm talking about. You see the car just bounce over it. The suspension on these RX1E cars is absolutely amazing, and this is Väby's rally style. Entering the Joker section, full opposite lock. Not quite the same style as we see from some of the circuit drivers, but very effective, and he'll be delighted to be through this run without any problems.
Väby sets the new target time at 38.253 seconds for the one-lap challenge. Up next is Kevin Hansen.
An iconic track here at the Nürburgring, and to have rallycross racing in the bottom part of the track, it's absolutely fantastic. Big gravel corners, tight chicanes, a great track.
Now here's another driver that's placed in runner-up position 3 times this season and is knocking on that door for his first win of the new electric era. And I'm hear many of you saying already, it wouldn't be a surprise at all to see Kevin Hansen take a win in this 10th and final round. Twice the runner-up in Latvia, also runner-up in the World RX of Belgium, the first of the double headers in Spa. Now Hal has been giving us a little bit of diamond information on the Hansen team, bringing some possibly new ideas, new concept, new developments. The team have been working so hard to get the Peugeot 208 running as quickly as possible. Will this 10th and final round go to the Hansen World RX team? Let's watch Kevin with his one lap in SuperPole.
Here, the transmission clunking as the car launches away from the line. Kevin Hansen has had a best SuperPole position of 3rd, and that's happened twice so far this year. Absolutely sends the Peugeot on the way into turn 2, gets a lot of rotation done on the way into the corner. Look at him, huffing and puffing as he works away at the wheel. Some nearly half a second up on the best time set by OC Väby. You can see OC Väby in the corner, not looking particularly pleased. Hansen comes in with a bit of understeer into the Joker section, then oversteer on the exit. Now he's driving towards the last part of this lap. I think this is going to go quickest, Nick.
This is a brilliant performance from Kevin Hansen. Stops the clock. Oh, 37.827. Almost half a second quicker than Väby. Väby leaves the leader's enclosure. Kevin Hansen with some brilliant speed in the first half, particularly through corners 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Not quite as quick perhaps as he would like to be on the second part of the track, but there is no question Kevin Hansen comfortably going to the top of the table with 3 drivers to go. And let's have a look at the replay here, how lightning speed off the launch.
And an aggressive first sector. He was quicker than Väby in the opening 2 sectors, but lost out a bit by a 10th to Väby in the final part of the lap. Look how straight he had the car for the exit, popping over that curb and then driving down the hill. It's so quick down the hill there, working away at the wheel. And this is a very different approach to that of Väby we saw on the way into the Joker section, leaning on the front axle, bit of understeer on the way, and then gets the oversteer mid-corner, but critically keeping the wheel straight now for the exit onto the tarmac section.
Kevin Hansen sets the new target time. Next up is the Flying Finn, Niklas Gronholm.
Nice to be back at Nürburgring, a track I have good memories from last year. Really good gravel sections, so yeah, looking forward to get out there.
Now, in that little pre-race interview there, Niklas Gronholm is referring to his win here. It was the very last race of last season, but those were ICE cars, internal combustion engine vehicles. These are the brand new all-electric cars, but he's looking to pick it up where he left off here last year. He was 4th in the first of the doubleheader races and then had a brilliant win to wrap up his season's campaign. But Kevin Hansen has set a tough target here.
Gronholm will already have an idea of the potential time from the car from his teammate Clara Anderson's run. Just like Kevin Hansen, gets a lot of rotation done on the way in, right to the curb on the left, driving down the hill. The PWR looking good here, but 3/10 off Kevin Hansen's first sector time. Hansen pleased with that. You can see him in the window. Gronholm sends the PWR sideways into the Joker lap. Unblinking stare forwards from the Finnish driver. The middle sector is also shy of Kevin Hansen's.
Oh, he's off the pace, Hal, and that's a little painful. He finally finds some good pace towards the end. Quicker than Baby. That's good news for the construction equipment dealer team. Kevin Hansen holds the fastest time at 37.827 seconds. Just a little untidy in the opening part of the challenge, but the fastest on the backside of the Nürburgring racetrack here. Let's have a look at the slow-mo replays.
The start is so critical in rallycross, and it's great that it's part of this SuperPole session. Just like Kevin Hansen, got rotation done early on, but wasn't quite as aggressive with throwing the car in, and then lost a tiny bit there on the exit. I think you've got to be oh so careful on those curbs through the chicanes, and then a big pull of the handbrake just to get the rear of the car stepped out for this fantastic gravel section. I would love it if we had to use this gravel section more in each race because it's so exciting. Gronholm not quite as quick as that man.
Kevin is still at the top of the table, and it's his older brother up next, Timmy Hansen.
This track, you need a lot of risk to go fast. You need to attack those curbs, and you need to really properly send it through the Joker lap. I'm gonna give it everything I got.
Timmy Hansen coming off the back of his first win of the season at the doubleheader in Catalunya, Barcelona, back on the 12th and 13th of November. That was a big breakthrough for Timmy, perhaps psychologically more than anything else. He now has that self-belief. He backed up that win with a second position to Johan Kristoffersson. Needs a good result here this weekend to secure second spot in the 2022 FIA World Rallycross Championships.
Hansen's been second best in the SuperPole runs in every round but one so far this season. He'll want to go one better to wrap out the season in style. Nowhere near as much rotation as his brother Kevin Hansen in the early part of the lap. Clobbers the curb on the left-hand side. That didn't look as quick to me, and it's not nearly 3/10 down. Kevin wasn't that quick, though, in the final sector. Can Timmy make this up? Sends the Peugeot in much harder than his brother did. Timmy was so pleased with his free practice run. We know that because he was beaming from ear to ear when he drove back to the paddock. Oh, he's taken a bit back, but I don't think this is going to be enough, Nick.
Watch the clock carefully. 37.827, 37.819, 8 thousandths of a second, separating first and second position. Timmy Hansen just and only just gets the better of his younger brother Kevin Hansen, pushing Gronholm down into third position. Ollie Christian Veiby is in fourth position. Needs to tidy up these racing lines in the early part of the challenge, Hal. I think that's fair to say.
He lost quite a lot of time there to Kevin Hansen relative to the other sectors. So Timmy was quicker through the lap, but just not here. Gave that curb a big old clobber. Had to make a correction mid-corner, and that compromised his exit as well. But through the Joker section here, he's where he found the time. A lot of understeer mid-corner, bit of oversteer towards the exit. But then again, it's all about getting the wheels straight and driving forward, just like his brother did. Took the times back in the middle and final sectors.
Timmy Hansen sets the target time at 37.819 seconds with our newly crowned world champion up next. Unbeaten in SuperPole all season long, it is, of course, Johan Kristoffersson.
So Nürburgring, some very, very good memories from here. Very tricky start line, but the track is really, really nice, and I hope to see a lot of fans here and that we can have a nice show because the track is mega.
What a season Johan Kristoffersson has had, taking his 5th FIA World Rallycross Championship title, but I am sure he wants to end his season in style, searching for his 35th career win here in Germany this weekend, and definitely motivated to hold on to his unbeaten record this season in SuperPole.
Johan Kristoffersson delivered one of the best laps I've ever seen in the SuperPole session last time out in Barcelona, nearly a second quicker than anyone else. Look at the rotation on the Volkswagen, pinpoint accuracy on the way into turn 2, now driving down the hill from loose onto tarmac, and he's half a second quicker than the best first sector time set so far into the Joker lap section. Sends the Volkswagen sideways, lots of oversteer in the middle of the corner, but got the wheel straight for the exit back onto the tarmac. He's going to, in the middle sector, he's taken more time still. This is going to go quickest.
Oh, he's done it again! 10 out of 10 SuperPole victories. 37.003, over 8 tenths quicker is quite remarkable. This 12 corner, 1,000 meter track, and he still finds this amazing speed. And Kristoffersson tells us one thing quite clearly. He's looking to end this season with yet another victory. Hal, here's the replay. Brilliant driving from our world champion yet again.
This was mostly won in the opening sector. Look at the attitude of the car. Absolutely nailed the first apex, and that meant he carried that bit more speed down the hill. Then again, look at him just nibbling away at the handbrake, keeping the rear wheels locked, just to get the rear rotated in, and then keep the wheels nice and straight for the exit. He actually lost out a little bit in the final sector to Timmy Hansen, but it was only a fraction. All of this lap was done in the opening sector.
Spectacular driving, an amazing time, and we start to sense that this could be the tone of the day from Johan Kristoffersson. It's a single header, not a double here at the Nürburgring this year, but he's brought his A game to the track once again, hasn't he? Johan Kristoffersson, brilliant, and he's down with Thomas.
So Johan, what to say? How do you find all these tenths out there? That was a mega drive, and once again, it is a win in the SuperPole.
Yeah, it was a very, very good lap. Again, it was. I was standing watching, and I saw Kevin had a very, very good run, especially the first sector. Kevin was super fast, so I heard Timmy just beat him by 0.008 of a second or something. So I knew that probably was the pace. But yeah, I just managed to make a very, very good lap. It was every corner, every curb was perfect, and it's very difficult to make time on this track. It's so small margins everywhere, but yeah, I managed to make a good one there.
You surely did. And now to the biggest question: where will your starting position be going into Heat 1 here?
It will be Heat 2 and pole. It's a tricky start line here, but yeah, I'll go for pole and see. But there is a new tarmac there, so maybe it's a little bit lower grip, but yeah, let's try.
Much good luck.
Thank you very much.
Well, it's a strategy, Hal, that Johan has followed all season, and you've explained to us event after event, race after race, that pole is so often the secret to success in many of these races. It's no shock at all to see what he's chosen there.
No, and the reason he's chosen pole, as we see the results come up, is that if he wins that race, he'll then get pole in Heat 2, and that's all the more important.
Here's the confirmation of the SuperPole results. Kristoffersson at the top of the table again. The Hansen brothers second and third, Gronholm fourth, Ollie Christian Veiby is in 5th position. So let's quickly bring you up to date with the rest of the schedule. That's the end of the drivers out there on their own. We'll be lining them up 4 abreast to race. Now, Euro RX3 will be the first heat, then we'll have the first heat of World RX, then we'll go through the heats. And remember, because this is only a single header, there will be 3 heats for both the World RX 1E series and, of course, the Euro RX3 series throughout the morning and into the afternoon. So that brings us to the end of our coverage of the SuperPole. Please make a note that we will be back at around midday local time to begin our coverage of all of these heats. So that brings us to the end. We'll take a quick break. Don't go too far away. When we return, we will have the Euro RX 3 drivers up first, then the RX 1E battles begin. On behalf of all of the team, many thanks for your company. It is goodbye for now. The FIA World Rallycross app enables you, the fans, to watch RX Plus anytime and anywhere as we enter a new electric era for the sport. Registered RX subscribers can sign in with their account details and watch hundreds of hours of exclusive World RX action live or on demand in amazing HD quality. With simple navigation, users can catch up with all the latest news, follow the race results, check the championship standings, and enjoy free video clips.